We're talking about 30 years tonight, folks. 30 years. 3 decades. An entire generation. Yes, that is worth a round of applause indeed. The mission now is just as clear as the mission was in the beginning. And to put it simply, it is to break the hold of poverty in this community. Now, of course, things aren't that simple. When you start asking questions like, what causes poverty, or how do we solve it? You're sort of pulling like a little thread there. It has all kinds of knots in it, all kinds of snags. And failed policies, broken systems, exploitive practices, they're all sort of tangled into that. There are more sinister causes as well, such as racism, greed, hatred, or ignorance. Complicated is probably an understatement, and perhaps for all of us here who want to give and who want to make a difference, it can at times seem impossible. But we have found that if you keep at it long enough, if you work to kind of loosen those knots through relationships, through threads of patience, and remain persistent in untangling a community that has encountered more than its share of challenges, there can be a positive road ahead. We've learned that if you do keep at it, you start to see how far your neighbors can strive when they're simply given a fair chance. But you might be asking yourselves right now, as you're eating that delicious cake, you might be asking yourselves, how? How do we do this? How do we address such a complex issue with so many different causes of poverty, right? Each person's needs are different. And you think, how do I create a lasting set of change? Well, we believe the answers are found in Urban Ventures' mission statement, and that's educating kids, strengthening their families, and building a healthy community. With so many programs and so many ways of serving the community, it's really important to have those guiding pillars for the kids, the families, and the community as we work to do what we do. And just like with the problems that we all encounter, the work we do can feel really complex, right? It can feel intricate, and that's why we've taken a visual approach to show this to you, to explain it. Sometimes, indeed, seeing is believing. We believe this video will help you get a closer, clearer understanding of the impact we make. Take a look.
An inheritance is supposed to be a blessing, one that helps future generations. But what if, alongside gifts like work ethic and strong morals, you also inherited something that didn't feel like a blessing and wasn't intentional? What if that something set you back in reading or made it unlikely that you'll continue your education? What if that something placed you in a system that has failed your community for generations? That inheritance is a reality for many in South Minneapolis. That something is poverty. Poverty creates a cycle that ensnares the generations after it. Inspired by our faith, Urban Ventures exists to break the cycle of poverty in our neighborhood. For our neighbors, the effort to break free is exhausting. Momentum, like a new job opportunity, can quickly fade due to things most of us take for granted, like transportation or childcare. Exiting the cycle of poverty is extremely complex, but we found that one opening provides the clearest way out: education. Education changes everything. Continuing education leads to more job opportunities and greater incomes. And education begins where we all begin, as kids. Childhood sets the trajectory for our lives, and Urban Ventures programs make the most of this time. Through academic and personal interventions, we offer support from cradle to career. Our goal, and it's a big one, is to prepare and send every kid in our neighborhood to college, paving the way for a rewarding career. Kids aren't on this journey alone. Strengthening their families through offerings that educate and encourage parents means mom, dad, and siblings all have a chance to grow together. Each student and family is a part of a greater community, and we work to make ours a healthy one. Urban Ventures Campus acts as a hub, Gyms and soccer fields provide a safe place to play. Our urban farm educates and gives away fresh, nutritious food. Neighborhood events and violence prevention initiatives bolster our community, all in an effort to build connections between the diverse populations that make our neighborhood vibrant. For decades, Urban Ventures has intertwined with tens of thousands of families in our community to help strengthen a resolve that's already here. With your help through education, we provide openness for our neighbors to break out of the cycle of poverty and create new cycles full of hope, stability, and joy.
That was pretty neat, wasn't it? I love those last words, creating new cycles full of hope, stability, and joy. Indeed, a beautiful picture. You know, we've seen over the years how individuals and also families have really been able to seize opportunities to create a better future. And those stories of success propel us to work even harder, to serve even more of our neighbors. But sadly, for some, hope actually feels like a luxury. There are so many setbacks that people can endure, and there are only so many that really can allow you to say, okay, I'm gonna keep taking a step forward. It can be tough before people believe, okay, I can break free. On top of that, there is a big disparity in our city. So just a few blocks from here, where we all are right now in southwest Minneapolis, the poverty rate is 3.6%. Okay, that's real close. Then here, right here in this neighborhood, the poverty rate is more than 10 times higher right here, right outside these doors. And we don't think a zip code should have to dictate your future. Each of our neighbors has many needs and varied needs, but there is a universal need that we all share, and that is the need to have hope. Growth, progress, and transformation do all require hope, which means for Urban Ventures to serve our neighborhoods well, we must determine how best to inspire hope. We serve kids, family, and the community. We see repeatedly that education has been that key, that great reservoir of hope. Education really does change everything. You think about the last time you learned something, right? The struggle to understand, the failures you had to try to get it right, seeking out new guidance, trying to figure out, how do I get into this role, connect these dots. And then you have that sense of accomplishment, right? When suddenly something that you worked so hard to learn just sort of clicks. Well, what was at first, challenges suddenly turns into, okay, I got this, kind of like riding a bike, you figured it out. And that experience of learning, that challenge and coming through that really is an exercise in hope. So when a child who struggles to read starts to read or pick up a book on their own and say, hey, this is kind of fun, they do it by themselves. Or when a student goes to college for the first time in their family, these are moments that inspire us at Urban Ventures. These are moments that keep us pressing forward. And tonight's theme of brighter days, such a great theme, right? It really invokes that spirit of hope. Even in the dark times, even in the recent challenges that South Minneapolis has faced, we continue to move forward and have faith in better days to come. To expand on the theme of spoken word, I want you to please welcome Urban Ventures Act 6 scholar and University of Northwestern St. Paul graduate, Isavela Lopez. She's fantastic. She's going to perform her spoken word, Brighter Days.
I can hear my heartbeat on the streets, paso a paso, step by step. It's a journey beyond the horizon, there where the sun kisses the earth, reminding her there will be brighter days. Heartbeat, she reminds us to breathe. Heavy events, leaving our scars all over the streets. No hay de otra, we pay with our dreams. Podemos encontrar nuestra esperanza en la calle, Can we find our hope on these streets? Do we also have to exchange our hard work for peace? Pesado patterns we find on the path, even at home where our bodies sleep. We live amongst the shattering glass of the windows to our future. Violent moments in history will now always be a part of our stories. Stories that have the capacity to rebuild the streets that lead us into a better tomorrow. But do we choose the side of the oppressor, or do we remember that love is greater? When I lay in my bed, I close my eyes, and I remember the taste of home and hope, the comfort in the eyes and skin that surrounds me. Tal vez con la substancia de nuestro amor podemos recordar, maybe with the substance of our love, we can remember who we were before these veneering scars. So I close my eyes and I remember brighter days is when my abuela offers me a champorado after a long, hard day at work. Brighter days is when mi mamá offers to recalentar mi tortilla after it almost getting cold to finish the meal that she cooked for me. Brighter days is getting mis amiguis together to play soccer on an old forgotten field. Brighter days is in the hug my friend rushes out of me because words were not enough to hold back the tears. Brighter days is in the hands that choose to help even when there is nothing in exchange. Encontramos esperanza en los corazones que lata por comunidad. We find hope in the hearts that beat for community. Memories in the sparks of our heartbeats are the remedies in the morning. En el amanecer, we find ourselves in days that call us by our names, because home will always remember who we are, and the endurance of hope is only found in community, en la comunidad, en el pueblo. Y como el sol y la tierra, just like the sun and the earth, the sun calls us into her. The sun calls the earth into her love, into the horizon, into brighter days. Bayus Dios, no la Isavela. Gracias.
Isavela, thank you. That was so beautiful. I really like that phrase, especially talking about endurance and how endurance inspires hope, and that is found in community. And I have to say again, over the years, I've seen the work that Urban Ventures has done, and that is indeed part of what this organization does. Over the last 30 years, Urban Ventures has experimented, invested, and committed to doing whatever it can to break that cycle of poverty in our community. And we've learned a lot about what works. Of course, over the years, you learn what doesn't work. And along the way, we've built really meaningful relationships with neighbors, families, so many of you, organizations, schools, and they've joined in this dream for a better future for this neighborhood. And tonight, again, we're celebrating, but we're also looking forward to what we can do together with Urban Ventures to expand it and to grow it. And what's really neat, again, there's so many of us all under this one roof, all in this room together, and we can all play a part of this to meet the needs of the community. This room, no doubt, is filled with extraordinary people. I know you know it. You met people at your tables. I did. Some people here who are really helping make Urban Ventures is what it is. Our musical artist that we're going to hear from later, nicest guy, so talented. We're all here, right? We all have these gifts to share. And we're here for the same reasons. It's an anniversary, 30 years, 3 decades. This is a moment to look back. You do this right for your birthday, for your own anniversary. Leading up to this event, Urban Ventures has really looked at ways we can all reconnect to the roots and think about where we began. It's a really incredible story. A lot can happen in 30 years, right? Some of us in here say, 30 years, not that old. Let me take you back, though, 1993. Urban Ventures was founded. It feels like a whole new world. I won't sing it. I'll let Blessing do the singing, but a whole new world. Can you picture it? Aladdin, the soundtrack, right? That was popular then. Speaking of movies, the first Jurassic Park was in theaters. Sleepless in Seattle, Sandlot. Urban Ventures has been around for a while, right? Whitney Houston belting out, I Will Always Love You, Prince. Wasn't going by Prince anymore when everything was founded. You had the mom jeans, the flannel. They're back in maybe now, you know. They never go out of style. We had to figure out how to use the browser with this little thing called the World Wide Web. So much has changed, and the stakes really have felt higher in Minneapolis, even back then. Like many cities around the country, urban decline was a growing problem. The crime rate was growing for almost a decade, and it was the highest in our city's history. So it was in those circumstances that people were really passionate about making change and envisioning a city without poverty. So we sat down with some people who were here since the very beginning, some who've joined along the way, all with the mission for a brighter future, to try to tell how Urban Ventures has gotten to where it is today.
The way things are going, sometime in the next few weeks, Minneapolis will do something it's never done before.
There's now appears to be little doubt that this will be the most murderous year in the city's history. Here in Minneapolis, another young man died on the streets today, the 58th murder victim of the year, and it's only July.
This year's murder victims range in age from 22 months to 66 years old. Men have been victims more often than women, and young African-American men have suffered the highest murder rates of all.
So the neighborhood back pre-UV was like the Wild Wild West. You could drive down 4th Avenue and there'd be people waiting for you to purchase whatever you wanted to purchase, whether it be a gun, a girl, drugs.
14% of the homes were vacant, and 60% of the homes were father absent, and kids did not graduate from high school. This was a tough neighborhood.
When I was growing up in South Minneapolis, the Lake Street Corridor was a very thriving community. That wonderful, well-functioning community, I also saw decline. And the decline had a lot to do with others having a different view about this neighborhood.
Everybody in my community, they were saying, how come you're going to be working in South Minneapolis? They tried not to scare me, but really to make me know that the community outside sees this community very different. So it was a community that we saw a future coming, but in the same way, it was difficult to be here.
There was a feeling of downward mobility that just kept people down and addicted and hopeless. And that's why Urban Ventures moved into 31st and 4th, just because of that.
Our mission was to raise a new generation of leaders from our urban community who are excellent educationally, technically, vocationally, and morally. So it's a constant thing to keep moving, and stay in your neighborhood and try to transform.
We had a group of people that knew the neighborhood, some lived in the neighborhood, and knew some of the businesses in the neighborhood. All of these folks had a deep faith, a deep commitment to, trying to help people live a better life and to help people have the tools to be successful in life.
When I met Art Erickson, he invited me to work here. I really couldn't believe how many Latino people were living in the city. I saw Lake Street, a few businesses, not too many, but I realized that people was coming and that we have a community that I wanted to serve. And that was my commitment from the first day to be in the city, to be serving my community.
The day-over-day work that I had in my role was very similar to other places I'd worked. But if you're looking for a difference maker, it was the people. It was a place where when janitorial supplies were delivered, a number of us would go downstairs and unload the pallet because that's who was available. And so as long as you were able to be flexible and enjoy the camaraderie and the fellowship of your coworkers, it was really cool.
We valued each other. We pitched in when each other had things going on. That was kind of the entrepreneurial spirit. It led to us not becoming institutionalized, like this is the way we've always done it. That stuff wasn't really valued. What was valued was ideas and ingenuity, and not coming to the neighborhood and presuming that we had answers and that we know what we're doing, but listening to the street, listening to the people, listening through families, all the different avenues that come and speak to you on a daily basis. How many of those are really messages for you to take notice of?
When I was growing up in South Minneapolis, the Lake Street Corridor was a very thriving community. Everything that you would want to have in a neighborhood or in a community, we had here in the Central Bryant neighborhoods. A decision was made, not necessarily by the city, but again by government, that they were going to change the Lake Street Corridor. And in deciding to change the Lake Street Corridor, they decided that they were not going to provide access to Lake Street. That decision to cut off access, to rezone properties and push different commercial enterprises or economic enterprises elsewhere contributed to the demise of our section of the Lake Street Corridor. The ice cream parlors, the paint stores, the shoe stores, the dress shops, all of these things were replaced by businesses that were not necessarily desirable and compatible with residential living. And so what we had to do to fight back was to take control. And how do you take control? You take control of everything that is not pinned down.
It takes many years for a community to digress, to disconnect, and it takes as many years for it to come back. We had to speak at a lot of community meetings to try to build bridges. There was a lot of misinformation, a lot of things that only trust building over time can alleviate. I think people who have been here for a long time recognized the goodness that we were bringing, and they became our advocates. And that's what we needed the most of, is community buy-in. Well, John knew the heartbeat of the community. He brought a credibility through experience to UV and was a urban theologian.
John really carried Urban Ventures' mission for many, many years. As we focus in families, John was the key person for the families that we were building. His ideas, his commitment, his love and passion for the Lord, and his work with families, work with men. He was the guy that fulfilled every part of the mission for what we were building.
Urban Ventures serves an amazing community. Arguably one of the most diverse sections of the city, the state of Minnesota, and frankly, the 5-state upper Midwest area. Our way of serving has to account for the amazing, rich, beautiful diversity of the people that we serve.
We understand the full human experience. We need to make sure that we're meeting their basic needs so that they're even in a space to receive new opportunities. But we don't just be like, okay, we met your basic needs. Good luck, have fun, be great. We also are like, okay, so now that you're in a space where you're hungry and you desire something new, something fresh, here are some things that we offer. We're kind of finding these things that help the entire family learn and grow. And I feel like Urban Ventures' focus is on doing just that.
This community has changed a lot in 30 years, but a lot of things have stayed the same. Kids are growing up in poverty, and kids are growing up without the access to the academic programming that they need in order to succeed. We decided to really zero in on education, and we realigned all of our programs with that purpose, that every touch point we had was through the lens of, are we helping a child succeed academically, or by extension, are we helping that family unit help that child succeed academically?
Education has changed my life. And so I know, as an educator, that it can change anyone's life. The more we can inspire our kids and help them find that voice within, that's ultimately gonna impact how they show up in this community.
When the event happened in 2020, I feel like we went to ground zero again. Our communities, they were afraid to each other. Nobody knew what happened. Everybody wants to blame everybody, and division started happening.
We think of 2020 now as one of the most watershed moments in world history. And for us at Urban Ventures, we found ourselves challenged in ways we had never anticipated, trying to become a remote service, but also establishing support for needs we'd never really addressed.
It really crossed my mind, are we ever going to be able to recover from this? Will our community be able to recover from this? But I have to say, in those dark times, the sun would rise again in the morning, and I saw humanity at its finest. I found myself so many moments there, just eyes filled with tears, just seeing the beauty of humanity in the midst of real darkness. We came together and said, let's think outside of the box and let's serve, and let's do what we can to serve in ways we didn't know we had it in us to be able to serve.
Our community, they knew that we would be here to support them and to help them. And that was the case. And I think that that foundation now will move us for the future. Whatever we can encounter now, these organizations and these businesses and these people, they know that we can work together for whatever is happening in the future. We are here to stay, and we will create the best that we can for what we have.
Urban Ventures is 30 years of learning, growing, developing, changing, evolving. What makes me so proud of 30 years of legacy of Urban Ventures is that we haven't stayed the same. We've modified our service delivery approach to coincide with the needs, the ever-changing needs in our community.
I think that Urban Ventures has been creating a lot of trust in this community because we are here, because we have been decided to be here, and through this time being here, we have been implementing hope. So people has been seeing that we just don't trust in you. We have hope in you. We believe in you. I hope that we don't take the credit for people changing. I hope that we don't feel like we are the saviors of this community as much as we are the servants to help you to discover really who you are and your potential. And through that, you can become the person that you were designed to be and be even better.
We're seeing the results of community development before our eyes right now. With every new shop that gets opened, with every business that gets reopened, with people that are coming back into the neighborhood and buying homes, those are all the results of hard work and people believing again.
When I look at the neighborhood now, I am absolutely hopeful. They opened up access back to Lake Street. So now we're gonna have a trail of traffic on Lake Street again, and that's going to invite economic investment. This isn't our story. This is just one chapter in our story. So the question is, who's willing to sign up to do the work that needs to be done? I am. What about you?
Wow, what an amazing legacy of service. I joined Urban Ventures a little over 7 years ago, and I have to admit, there are still days when I can't believe how blessed I am to be part of this story. When we say that the work here is life-changing, I am including myself. Serving through this organization has changed my life. It has changed how I see the world, how I understand our city, and changed what I believe is possible when good people work together. Speaking of good people, wow, this is a beautiful sight out there. Well, especially with the lights though. No, I'm kidding. Seeing this room full of people who share our hopes and dreams is not just an encouragement, but also a reminder that despite the challenges, frustrations, and dysfunction on display in our world, and there's a lot of that, right? There's a large group of people ready to do the long, hard work of loving thy neighbor. You enable us to be the hands and feet of Jesus in our community, and you embolden us to pursue better and greater ways to serve our neighbors. So on behalf of all of us at Urban Ventures, thank you. I also want to thank our anniversary sponsors for leading the way tonight. Bell Lumber and Polad Investment Management. Both companies have demonstrated a meaningful connection to our mission, and we are so blessed to have partners like you. Thank you. Alongside them, we are grateful and encouraged by how many others came together to sponsor this event. Some have been with us for most of our 30 years, others relatively new, but all of them made it possible for us to serve more kids in our community. Also in this room are many of our school, nonprofit, church, and community partners. The old adage rings true. It really does take a village. We do a lot of great work here, but we certainly don't do it alone. In fact, Urban Ventures works with over 145 partners to serve our community. So partners, thank you for coming alongside us to serve this community that we all love together. I am also grateful for the Urban Ventures board. And let's face it, they have a tough job. They're my supervisor. We have board members past and present with us here tonight. Your insight and leadership help us provide greater support to our community. So thank you. Okay, and now I would like to acknowledge a pretty special man. He happens to be our co-founder, Mr. Art Erickson. But Art dared to dream a big, God-sized dream decades ago, and through whom God started writing the story we are all part of tonight. Will you join me in showing some love to my mentor and friend, the unstoppable Art Erickson? Man, I love that guy. Earlier tonight, we recognized another titan of our organization, Joel Jennings. Joel and his wife, Mary Lee, have been ardent supporters of Urban Ventures for nearly all of our 30 years. Joel passed away last year, and we missed him around here. At a reception this afternoon, Joel and Mary Lee's son, Todd, accepted the Community Builder Award on their behalf. We are grateful for the generosity and the ongoing legacy of their work in our community. When I think about the last years since we gathered in this place, I'm reminded of the words of the very wise philosopher, Iron Mike Tyson. He once said, "Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face." Well, you know what? We were busy strengthening our cradle to career model, serving more kids, and making great progress on narrowing the achievement gap. And then in 2020, our community got punched in the face. The pandemic had already created a crisis in our community. Many of our participants work in service industries that were immediately and dramatically affected by closures. Thousands of the students in our community lacked the devices or internet connectivity to participate in distance learning. Nerves were frayed. Feelings of despair started to bubble over. During this crisis, another crisis emerged. The horrifying video of George Floyd's murder was yet another match near a powder keg that had piled up for generations. Suddenly, a neighborhood already struggling to cope with the pandemic faced even more difficult and destructive circumstances. It became clear to all of us that our community needed us to step up in ways we previously thought unimaginable. With your help, we filled this gym with food and supplies so that families wouldn't go hungry after grocery stores were destroyed. We relocated families who lived next to damaged buildings. And with $1 million fund that you provided, we provided the first round of financial relief to help 100 local small businesses repair and recover. You know what? It was indeed a dark time, but every morning I saw humanity pushing back against the darkness. And leading the charge, I saw the staff of Urban Ventures. Through it all, they continued to care for our participants, creatively adapt their programming, and tirelessly provide for our neighbors. For that, I reserve my greatest and most heartfelt thanks this evening for the loving, hardworking, caring, and impressive team I get to work with every day. I'd like to ask the Urban Ventures team if they could stand so we together can acknowledge them and thank them for all their amazing work. As soon as we could, we reopened and welcomed back people as quickly and safely as possible. As the world moved on, the Urban Ventures team was still here figuring out how do we move forward. One of the most troubling setbacks we saw was that after many years of progress, the achievement gap was once again widening. The disproportionate impact on distance learning on families in need was starting to show up in test scores, truancy, and dropout rates. So we refocused our energy and redoubled our efforts to break the cycle of poverty through educational achievement. In other words, we got right back to what we do at Urban Ventures, educating kids, strengthening their families, and building a healthy community. Yeah, the last 5 years will always be remembered as some of the darkest for our community, but the last 5 years also saw the most significant expansion of programs and services in Urban Ventures' 30-year history. The second floor of this building was converted into the Cornwell Early Learning Center. Since opening, it has provided high-quality early childhood education for over 130 students, making sure they are prepared for success in kindergarten. In addition to the Early Learning Center, we launched Me and My Baby, a program for new and expectant mothers. Over 600 mothers and their families have received coaching, support, and aid as they start new lives well. Siempre Padres, our largest parenting initiative, has served 1,000 parents in the last 5 years, providing them with tools and encouragement as they build better lives for their families. Urban Ventures opened an innovation center providing access for local students to cutting-edge technology and interactive STEM learning. This includes a mobile hub, a fully loaded education center on wheels that we can park at partner schools, literally bringing opportunity to their doorsteps. Building on the success of our Act 6 scholarship program, Urban Ventures established the College and Career Center to coordinate our post-secondary options. Each of these achievements were made possible by your generosity. I know my daughter and wife right now are saying, okay, Dad, Dave, wrap it up. All right, I'm getting there. So now, with your continued help, we are ready to strategically expand our programs so that even more of our neighbors can access the support they deserve as they work to strengthen their families. For example, this year, we will substantially expand our literacy initiative, Reading Plus. We have added staff and increased partnerships with local schools to provide one-on-one intensive literacy support for young readers. This program works, so we intend to double the number of students we serve this year. We will continue our work of building a healthy community through our violence prevention initiative, Pathway to New Beginnings. The program envisioned by the former deputy city attorney, who is here with us tonight, has become something of a breakthrough in recent years, with city leaders from around the nation asking Urban Ventures how they can replicate what we're doing. The success in Minneapolis has resulted in invitations to take over similar efforts in St. Paul and to develop a new program for felons across Hennepin County. And with your support, continued support, our College and Career Center will expand to support understaffed guidance counselors at 6 local high schools by helping hundreds of students create a post-secondary education plan and take next steps towards implementing that plan. Lastly, we have some big news tonight. As you know, our big audacious goal is to prepare and send every child in our neighborhood to college or another form of post-secondary education. I'm often asked, what do you mean, another form of post-secondary? When short, research shows that students who continue their education beyond high school are far more likely to secure financial security through a better paying and more rewarding career. However, that does not mean every student needs the same type of degree. A great example is vocational training. Through vocational school and apprenticeship programs, students who may not thrive at a liberal arts university can begin the journey toward high-paying, meaningful careers in the trades. As we work tirelessly to help kids in our neighborhood pursue post-secondary education, we will also work to equalize the value of vocational training as a path toward financial independence. Which is why I am pleased to announce that our board of directors has authorized us to expand into vocational training for high school students. By incorporating an existing nonprofit organization into our programming, we will be able to fast-track the offering of a new 10-month after-school, hands-on vocational training and life skills mentoring program for high school seniors interested in exploring a career in the trades. Beginning January 1st, we will train the next generation of carpenters, plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians for a rewarding and high-demand career. I told you 5 years ago that I believe our brightest days were ahead. Despite the great challenges we faced since then, Urban Ventures has emerged in a better spot than ever before. And here's the thing, I still think our brightest days are ahead of us. You are about to hear firsthand why I have so much hope for our community. Witnessing a family escape the cycles they've been stuck in is such an incredible thing to be part of. Tonight, we have a participant whose family has been around Urban Ventures for nearly a decade. I am so glad you get to hear her story, and I hope understand more deeply why we invest so much in our neighbors. There's supposed to be a nice, cute, introductory little video, but ladies and gentlemen, Areli.
Good evening. It's been said that the best gift a person receives from the others is the time. So thank you for being here to celebrate. I am original to the beautiful town in Mexico, but my parents, like so many others, had the fair work opportunities there, and so they made the difficult decision to move their family here to the United States. That is how, as a teenager, I became an immigrant. My parents dedicate themselves working too very hard, and I will always grateful to them for teaching me from an early age what I mean to have a strong work with ethic. I also remember wish the would be home more, and I feel alone and tried to figure out of life. I started a relationship and was blessed with my first daughter. I knew early on as a mother that I want to give her a different childhood than the one I had. My parents did the best they could with that they had. By my hope, growing up was filling with hurt. But my hope growing up was filling with abuse, negative, and a lack of affection. Today I am a mom that 3 beautiful children, but I was not a beautiful mom at the first. I started raising with my child the same was I was raising. Continues to the parent as what I was trying to break. I remember being harsh with one of my children because that was how I was taught to discipline. But at the same time, I was apologized to them because I know how much it's hard, me as my child, to treat too harshly. I was afraid my children will feel alone or feel like I didn't love them enough. I felt healthy and helpless because I know that history was repeating itself and I didn't know how to make a change. And that was, I want to apologize to my children. They're here tonight. I love you, and I'm sorry. This cycle continued for many years, had I mostly given up hope. But one day, I heard a wonderful woman from an urban venture. She's talking about how to be better parents. She did it with so much love and passion. It was now I want to be as parents I was that I have been searching for. This woman, Mirna Garcia, invited me to her class on Wednesday night. The limiting I feel impossible for me and my partner, Luis. We were working at night, but when they're talking about your greatest priorities, we decide to make decisions. We come to class from 6 to 8 p.m., and then went to work until 3 a.m. Believe me, this was sacrifice, but it's worth it. Little by little, I learned that parents can be physical present, but emotional absent. This is what I have become. The class helped me see about what I didn't see when before. I believe I could become the parents I wanted to be, but it wasn't just the class. This great place had something for every year in your family. When Urban Ventures say that they have programs for everyone again, I confirm that it's true. My 3-year-old son and my granddaughter are studying here in the Cornwall Early Learning Center. My middle child has a mentor here in the young program. And my oldest daughter is working for Urban Venture. And she also is the first of Warner family to go to the college. I asked my partner, Luis, what has been a positive thing about being part of Urban Venture? He answered quickly, get married. He had been living together for 17 years, raising our children together. But attending the class helped and decided to get back legally married and demonstrating what a healthy, committed relation looked like our children's. Thank you, Urban Venture. I have been able to break negative cycle in my family. We have created a better story for my children. I know I still have a lot to learn, but I also know that I am not alone in the process. I have an Urban Venture be oversight, and so does these families. There are many people out there trying to find opportunity to transform their lives and the generation to come. Like me, there are searching for how to be people they know they can be. With your help, they can have that opportunity with this beautiful organization. Thank you. Gracias.
Oh, Areli. I just have to say, and I think everyone here agrees, people are on their feet. It takes such courage to be as open and honest as you were, and we appreciate that. It makes us feel connected to you. I can say that for myself, and I think for everybody here tonight. So thank you for opening up in that way. That was beautiful. Thank you. So these really are the kinds of stories that make up the heart of Urban Ventures, the stories that come out of all of the different programs with this organization. And like Areli said, there are many other families just like hers. They know that there are brighter days ahead. They just need the opportunity, right? So here to tell us about how you all here tonight, all of us can help create these opportunities is Urban Ventures Vice President of Youth and Career. And I have to say real quick, I just met his mom tonight. I'm not sure where you are, but just the loveliest spirit, the loveliest heart, and she certainly has passed it along to her son.
Next up is my daddy, Benny Roberts.
Man, that's a tough act to follow. Y'all see my beautiful baby up there? My daughter and my beautiful wife, Geraldine, they inspire me. Their belief in me is fuel. They tell you don't grow weary in well-doing. It's hard to do it when you have an amazing support system. Areli, thank you so much. Listening to what you said, you motivate me to re-examine my own calendar to make sure that the because of my work and my relationships, I'm not exaggerating when I say I get to hear stories like these almost daily. There's so many people on this journey at different critical junctures pursuing growth and transformation, and even my own staff and the staff at Urban Ventures, and when we see that progress actualize, it's inspiring. I truly believe that people who are changed improve things around them because it's contagious. And I'm convinced that it's community that drives our purpose forward. And it takes involvement for all of those things to be realized. Many really don't understand the depth and complexity that inner city human services, ministry, or community development work demand from the organizations in their communities. There's so many organizations that didn't even persist, that couldn't continue their work, even with a great mission and even with great leadership. So to still be standing here after 30 years, and not just standing, but thriving and entering an even better season, it's something that we can look at as a testament to God's hand on our organization, but it's also the quality work and operating in excellence, and it's also good stewardship, but it's also because of the great contributions of each and everybody in this room. I feel I have the greatest job on earth. Seriously. I'm spoiled by my proximity to the amazing work that we do, the transformations that are happening, and I wish I can articulate to all of you how each donation, large or small, really helps us push our mission forward and helps us to foster the growth and transformation that's happening in our communities. Frankly, and if I can be real with y'all for a moment, when people don't expect it, when the bar is low for the people in our community, we raise a high bar, and you guys help us help people get there. But every time you guys see a number, and you've seen quite a from donations. It comes from the generosity of people in this room, the people that see our mission or the quality that we operate in, and sometimes also the need and the other things as well, but you connect with that, and we do it with excellence. And so how could I not see this room as a partner in this work? How could we as an organization not see what you guys have done to help us thrive for 30 years as partners? So thank you for that. And the work is not done. Because despite the turbulence, obstacles, and regardless of the circumstances, our neighbors want to be their best selves. They want to show up and do the hard work, and they envision living out their own brighter days. Our organization serves with a whatever it takes urgency. It took the ability to pivot because the streets were on fire. And it also took the resilience to stay even when the streets were on fire. But because we stayed through it all, 30 years and counting, this 5-block campus has become a safe space for our community, a safe haven during uncertainty, and a neighborhood that's rebuilding, and we're growing stronger together. Whatever it takes and at all costs, from midnight phone calls to courtroom visits, prayers during a car ride, or even like Areli inviting a person to a class. It's the words, "We are with you," in action. And it's also something that you can do from your seats tonight and ongoing. You've seen the old videos, right? We used to have to talk about Minneapolis, the crack epidemic, gangs, prostitution, but now we get to focus on graduation, career, and purpose. That's a transition to show you that we've come a long way, and we still have a long way to go because there's so much work to be done. So if you're looking for fertile ground to invest in, that's a farm pun. This. Let me tell you how, okay? On average, It takes us about $1,200 as an organization to serve and invest in a youth week in and week out for about a year, okay? Last year, we regularly served just less than 3,200 youth and their family members. So through the expansion of our services, like the new programs you're seeing, our VOTEC Training Center, we're boldly seeking to serve 4,000 youth and their families in 2024. That's about 800 more youth. Are y'all excited about that? You believe that the work we do is quality, and now we want to be able to offer it to more students and more families. But in order to reach that goal and the ability to say yes to 4,000 people, we need to do something really special tonight, something that you can play a part in. We need to raise $1 million. To do it, it's going to take all of us. So let me break it down for y'all one more time, all right? Thanks to the generosity of our sponsors and adding the ticket sales, we've already raised $286,000. That's amazing. Yeah, y'all better clap for that. That's amazing. I'm the storyteller in my family. Can I tell you a quick story? All right, so last week, right, we're up in the office chilling. It was dark. We're hoping for brighter days, right? And the mail came, and we got it, and it had this afterglow in it, and we're like, wow, what is that, you know? And then we cracked it open, and like out of nowhere, a choir started singing. It was like really angelic too, and then we started singing too, because a generous, anonymous individual sent us a gift for $500,000. There was not a name on it. There was a note in the memo that just read, "In celebration of 30 years." Yeah. I'm sorry, I was tempted. I had to do it. So I'm not a mathematician, but at $786,000, we're so close to our goal. We're so close. And right now, I'm just gonna ask for some help to get there the rest of the way, okay? So how will you respond? I'm the bearer of good news, okay? Because let me tell you something. $1,200 can provide for an entire family, or for a youth for 1 year, and $6,000 for a family of 5. Before you decide, this is the special announcement. We are doing, with our sponsors, are doing a special matching gift opportunity made possible by our anniversary sponsor. So here's how it works. Every gift or pledge up to $50,000 would be matched dollar for dollar. So 50 turns to 100. I like that kind of math, right? So if you're able to give $1,200 and support a youth, it became 2 youth. It's pretty dope. And there's more. I told you I'm the bearer of good news. We have a double match for new and increased donations. That means if you're making your first donation to Urban Ventures, and say you can give $1,200, it doesn't just help one youth. Their homies can come along with them. Now there's 3. I think that's amazing. Not 1, it becomes 3, right? If you gave in recent years to Urban Ventures, then any renewed gift is matched 1 for 1. And any increase on your giving is matched 2 to 1. And so I agree with that, wow. And so here's basically what you need to do. There's some pledge cards at your table. Fill out the pledge cards to donate by check, credit card, or indicate a pledge. Second, you can give or pledge digitally with the QR code. You could scan it with your phone. It's that little weird box with the dots on it. Just take a picture, and it'll take you where you need to go. We're going to give you guys a few minutes to complete the giving process, and a member from our UV team will be there shortly to collect the envelopes. And so I just want to urge you guys to give now and to give generously, and I want to thank you guys for your support.
Let me be the first to thank you for your generosity. Thank you all so much. On behalf of all of our neighbors and on behalf of our talented staff, we sincerely thank you. Your gifts will have an immediate impact on our ability to serve our community. We are eager to expand the work we do, and with your help, we will do just that. There is one more important change coming to our campus this year. As most of you know, we lost one of our most beloved friends last year. John Turnipseed was a part of the Urban Ventures family for 27 years. He passed away last November at the age of 68. John was one of the first participants in the Center for Fathering, eventually running the center, and most recently serving as Urban Ventures Executive Vice President and Campus Pastor. There are few people who so completely embodied the essence of Urban Ventures as John Turnipseed. As a young child, John battled demons brought on by a volatile, abusive father, leading to a life of crime as a gang leader and a drug dealer on the same streets where Urban Ventures is today. John would often say, "My God is big enough to do anything with anyone. I know because he did it for me." After surrendering his life to God, John became a community leader, pastor, and mentor to young men fighting to escape the same despair he'd experienced. He became a friend of the friendless, a voice to the silenced, and an inspiration to those without hope. John's personal transformation brought about great changes, both in Urban Ventures and across South Minneapolis. All the while, John gave the credit and the glory to God. John's primary passion was the challenge of fatherlessness. Throughout his career, he advocated, authored, trained, and taught countless times on the importance of healthy and present fathers. His impact was amplified through major federal initiatives addressing fatherlessness nationwide. More important than his work was John's family, many of whom are here with us tonight. As a husband, father, grandfather, great-grandfather, and uncle, John's loyalty and commitment to serving his family became the example he didn't have himself growing up. Many fathers and their families owe their second chances or new beginnings to John. That is why we can think of no better way to memorialize his presence on our campus than by renaming the same building in which he impacted so many lives. Future generations will continue to gather in that same spirit in the renamed John Turnipseed Center for Families. Next spring, we will break ground on a refresh of the courtyard area right outside of that building. Years ago, an abandoned house stood there. It was a space where John and other gang members participated in activity that harmed the community. But just like John himself, the space will be transformed and redeemed into a beautiful, welcoming sanctuary and a gathering space for our parenting and violence prevention initiatives. John was and always will be a reminder of both the why and how of loving our neighborhood. Please join me in applauding John's efforts. I'm sure he's listening.
Dave, that really was a beautiful tribute. If you didn't know John Turnipseed, I had the honor, the privilege of speaking with John over several occasions. I remember interviewing him for a news story, but I also remember in my early years getting to know about Urban Ventures, just sitting one night watching him as he started working with some of the fathers. And I just have to tell you, you know, you meet those people who really just kind of have that special touch, sort of a powerhouse deep in their soul and their spirit. That was John. So even just to see that and the center to be named after him, wow, it's really special. I'm feeling inspired. I'm feeling inspired. Okay, I feel it. You all feel it too. You feel it inspired, which means this is the perfect time to get even more excited to really feel what Urban Ventures is all about. And I know, hey, I know we're a little bit over time. We're a little bit late, but I have to say it is worth it. We are so glad you're here. We know that you could be at any number of other places tonight, but you are here and we are grateful. I want to introduce you to the musical artist that's about to come on stage here, Blessing Offor. If you haven't heard from him, tonight you are going to want to keep listening to his music. He is humble. We were chatting just about his family. I won't give it all away, I'll let him. But oh my goodness, when you talk about the struggles that he's faced, when you talk about the triumphs now and what he's accomplished, it's just amazing. The most humble guy. Just last week, he won 2 Dove Awards. That's a big deal. If you know, you know, right? This week, opening was Sheryl Crow at the Country Music Hall of Fame. So much more. Amy Grant, who was here with us a few years ago, he works alongside her, Toby Mac, Chris Tomlin. And again, humble, just the nicest guy. Please help me welcome to the stage to perform one of the songs from his hit album, My Tribe. Oh, and by the way, he just came out with the Christmas album. Sorry, Blessing, you're saying, can you stop talking, let me sing. He just came out with the Christmas album. One of the songs is original, so you'll want to hear that. But please welcome to the stage, talented musician, Blessing Offor.
Oh my God. You guys, give Brandy a hand. That was very kind. My name is Blessing Offor, and I'm just grateful to be here. Some of my favorite things to do are things like this because I'll tell you through the night, but I am the beneficiary of lots of help from people who had nothing to gain from it. And when I tell you that's what makes the world go round, I really mean it, and I speak from experience. Can I sound check really quick? I'm gonna do a quick sound check, okay? Also, I'm gonna make you sing tonight. So it's been a quiet night, but it's not gonna stay that way, okay? So, y'all just, while I do this, just give me, quietly with your neighbor, just do a me, all right? This song feels appropriate. I see trees of green, red roses too. I watch them bloom for me and for you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed days and those long sacred nights. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands. They say, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever, ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yeah, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. All right, good sound check, yeah? We feel good about that? All right, guys. First song, I want you to sing this with me. Ready? You have one line. It goes like this. Believe, 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 believe in your love. Ready? Try it. Believe, 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 believe in your... One more time, sing. Believe, 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 believe in your love. So I wrote this song because right before New Year's, my sister died. And a few weeks ago, my best friend also passed. And none of these things are fun or things anybody particularly wants to go through. And in those moments, I found myself saying, okay, well, what keeps me going? What do I believe in? What do I want to count on? Because at some point, what you say drives you, gets tested. And for me, that led to a lot of questions, and I wrote this song. And it's a hard song, and I was like, man, I don't know if Caleb's gonna play this because it's not like the happiest song in the world, but it's the truest song I've ever written. So, truth over fluffy happiness 9 times, all the time, yeah? So I wrote this song because it's true, and because it's hard to sing, and that tells me it needed to be sung even more. So you're gonna hear your cue, and you just come in really loud, all right? This song is called Believe. So you'll catch me when I fall, right? And you'll hear me when I call crying, and you'll fix me when I'm broke, right? That's all I need to know. So the storm is gonna break, right? And the sun is gonna start shining, and everything is gonna go right. That's all I need to know. But what if you know something I don't? What if you will something I won't? If you don't give me what I want, but you give me what I need, is that enough to believe, 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 believe in your... Will I still believe, 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 believe in your... 'Cause all I wanna do is believe, 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 believe in your love. All I wanna do is believe, 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 believe in your... So nothing's ever going wrong, right? And the sun is gonna start shining. Now hold on, I gotta tell you the truth about something. When I sent in this song, the original, they said to me, hey, you can't talk about wine. And I was like, well, that's weird. Why not, right? And they said, well, Christians can't handle wine. They said, Christians don't like wine. And I was like, So if you hear this on the radio, the line says, won't be nothing but some blue skies. First of all, I'm a better songwriter than that line, okay? Ugh, but I had to turn it in because we wanted it to play on the radio. I'm gonna sing you the real line, okay? Because we're not here for that nonsense, okay? So verse 2 says this. So nothing's ever going wrong, right? And every day I'm gonna be smiling, turn my water into good wine, and let the good times roll. But what if you know something I don't? What if you will something I won't? If you don't give me what I want, but you give me what I need, is that enough to believe, 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 believe in your love? Will I still believe, 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 believe in your love? 'Cause all I wanna do is believe, 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 believe in your, everybody sing, believe, 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 believe in your love. Do I love you? Do I love you? Do I love you? Or what you can do for me? Do I want you? Do I want you? Do I want you? Or what you can do for me? Sometimes I don't know, but all I wanna do is believe, 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 believe in your, yes I do. Believe, 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 believe in your love. All I wanna do is believe, 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 believe in your love. So, everybody always says, well, what's your story? Everybody is always this story, and usually people have a very rehearsed story. My story is a lot, so there's really no rehearsing it, but I do feel like I can relate. I know I'm sitting here playing music in front of you, but I came to the States when I was 6 years old with an uncle who was, I think, 29 at the time. So a kid with a kid, essentially. He was a single dad, just all of a sudden. And he would say to me, Blessing, we didn't come to America with all the benefits, but there are people who, for some reason, just care about us. And those people got us through some really tough years. My uncle's a lawyer now. I do this for a living. But I remember when his friends would pick me up from school, I remember the music I'm playing for you right now, I got to go to an arts magnet school to learn it. And to this day, I can't tell you who paid for it because they didn't need me to know. But for some reason, they needed me to go to that school. And so the very thing that puts me in front of you now, a lot of the education for it, I don't know who to credit, but I'm really grateful to them. So all this to say, you never really know what you're about to do and who you're about to do it for, but you're gonna do something amazing, right? So encouragement is what I have for you right now. There's a kid out there who needs you, whether you know him or her or not, but they need your help. And 20 years from now, they're gonna be like, hey, I did this thing and I don't know who let me do that, but they're gonna be grateful because I, to this day, am grateful to those people. They let me do what I love. Sometimes it kind of boggles the mind when I think all these things I'm doing. I know music theory, I write songs, I live in Nashville, blah, blah, blah. I don't know who to thank for that except I'm grateful to them. I mean, I know who to thank, but in the lowercase sense of the word. So please be that for somebody right now. I'm gonna play you this song because it's one of my favorites. I'm gonna tell you a funny story. When I heard this for the first time, my dad didn't let us really listen to any music that wasn't Christian music. So I thought every song in the world was a Christian song, which is hilarious. And when I heard this, I was like, wow, this is the most creative Christian song I've ever heard in my entire life. Huh, God does what? But then I came to find out that it's just a really beautiful song, which is perfectly fine. This is a Bob Dylan tune. It goes like this. When the rain is blowing in your face and the whole world is on your case, I could offer you a warm embrace to make you feel my love. When the evening shadows and the stars appear and there is no one left to dry your tears, well, I could hold you for a million years to make you feel my love. I know you haven't made your mind up yet, but I will never do you wrong. I've known it from the moment that we met. No doubt in my mind where you belong. I'd go hungry, I'd go black and blue. Yes, I'd go crawling down the avenue. No, there's nothing that I would not do to make you feel my love. The storms are raging on the rolling seas and on the highways of regret, yeah. The winds of change are blowing wild and free. You ain't seen nothing like me yet. I could make you happy, make your dreams come true. No, there's nothing that I would not do. Go to the ends of the earth for you to make you feel my love. No, there's nothing that I would not do to make you feel my love. You already know it, right? It feels like appropriate, right? You can clap. I like it. But on 2 and 4. Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain. We all have sorrow. But if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Everybody, lean on me when you're not strong. Well, I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride. If I have things you need to borrow for, no one can fill those of your needs that you won't let show. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'd understand. We all need somebody to lean on me. When you're not strong, I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Will you sing it by yourself? You don't need me, ready? I'm gonna count you in. Sing it to each other. 2, 3, lean on me. When you, come on. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long, no, till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Oh, you just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you understand. We all need somebody to lean on me. When you're not strong, I'll just be your friend, yeah. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. So you just call me when you need a friend. Call me when you need a friend. Call me. Everybody say, call. One more time, say, call me. Feels like a good anthem, doesn't it? Someone taught me to do that I can't tell you. But I really appreciate them. Dave, how am I doing? Okay, great. I used to live in New York City. Yes, I love New York. I got my stuff stolen in New York. I just snorted into that microphone. I say that only to say that sometimes things happen in life and you just like, what is life, you know? I fell asleep on the subway, which I know, first mistake, I know. My friend said to me, Blessing, what? But I was new, it was like my third day. I thought, well guys, it's New York. What's the worst that can happen? A lot. So my stuff got stolen, and right on cue, I felt all the human emotions of anger and blah, blah, blah. And then right on cue, my friends were like, hey, I know your laptop was in there. I just got you this new laptop. I know the thing you used to record ideas was in there. I just got you another one. It's actually better than the first one you had. That one was getting kind of old. And just little by little, the community, the tribe, the village came together and made me better than whole. Okay? And that's been my life experience from coming to the States. I grew up in a very communal culture in Nigeria. And man, I don't know what craziness you've witnessed, but let me tell you, people are the same everywhere. They just want to be seen, and they just want to know they are loved and that someone cares. And sometimes it's so simple, you know, and sometimes humans overcomplicate. But I talked to God about what happened, and I wrote this song, and it's called Waiting on the Sun. And I still need to sing it to myself sometimes. So I'm going to sing it to you guys. Give me the chance to be good to those who are good to me. To sing in the rain. Show me how to sing in the rain. Show me how to sing in the rain while I'm waiting on the sun. I'd rather be a fool 1,000 times and the victim 1,001 than to lose this heart of mine that believes so much in love. Give me the understanding to find joy in my circumstances, find peace in the pain, 'cause I know I'm not the only one. Show me how to sing in the rain. Show me how to sing in the rain. Show me how to sing in the rain. Show me how to sing in the rain while I'm waiting on the sun. 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 Show me how to sing in the rain. Show me how to sing in the rain. Show me how to sing in the rain. Show me how to sing in the rain while I'm waiting on the sun. Oh, 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 while I'm waiting on the sun. Got a couple more for y'all. Man, there's a lot I could tell you, but I kind of want to sing with y'all real quick. I do want to say, however, John Turnipseed sounded like a wonderful man, and there are some people in life that somehow leave you changed. I lost one of those people for me, and you never know it. Some you do, but you never really do, and then they're gone, and you realize that love was just amazing. So guys, I'm so sorry for your loss. When my friend Annie passed, it made me want heaven in a real way, because if that's where those people are, I want to be there too. So just know it's not it's not just a fantasy people concocted. It's going to be all right. In the spirit of that, can we sing this together? You will know it immediately. Anybody here know who Chris Tomlin is? All right, cool. So you won't leave me hanging on this. Ready? Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Verse 2, ready? Take it. 'Twas grace that you guys promised you would sing. And grace how precious that grace, the hour. My chains are gone, ready? My chains are gone, I've been set free. My God, my Savior has ransomed me. And like a flood, His mercy reigns, unending love, amazing grace. The Lord has promised good to me. Take it. Secures. He will, my shield and portion be, as long as life endures. My chains are gone, I've been set free. My God, my Savior has ransomed me. And like a flood, His mercy reigns, unending love, amazing grace. And like a flood, His mercy reigns, unending love, amazing grace. You guys sounded great. I have two important things to tell you. The first important thing is what's happening right now, me just sitting in front of you playing songs. Because I've experienced what you guys are doing in my own life, I said to really all of Urban Ventures when we're on the phone, I said, guys, I want to help. So I'm donating a house concert to whoever gets it. And it'll happen at your home. And this is the fun, right? So this right now could be your living room. You can bring as many friends as you want. All this, that, and the other thing. It's not about me. It's about the good that we'll do for kids that were just like me, that are just like me. And so this is kind of me saying, see, guys, that's a lot of fun, isn't it? Doesn't it sound fun? Okay, so you got, Dave will give you. Dave, you have the info? Boom. You guys, bada bing, see magic. Does that sound like fun, guys? Now, if you know your neighbor is one that can make this happen, you should really encourage them, okay? It's a lot of fun, I'm not gonna lie to you. So last but not least, besides all of the good stuff, I wanna leave you with this thought. It goes like this. I know there's gonna be some brighter days. I swear that love will find you in your pain. I feel it in me like the beating of life in my veins. I know there's gonna be some brighter days. I know there's gonna be some brighter days. Oh, ashes fall from burning dreams. Oh, never live through times like these. Oh, if you're trying hard to breathe in the dark, in the dark. Well, I know there's gonna be some brighter days. I swear that love will find you in your pain. I feel it in me like the beating of life in my veins. I know there's gonna be some brighter days. I know there's gonna be some brighter days. I know there's gonna be some brighter days. I swear that love will find you in your pain. I feel it in me like the beating of life in my veins. Yeah, I know there's gonna be some brighter days. I swear that love will find you in your pain. I feel it in me like the beating of life in my veins. I know there's gonna be some brighter days. I know there's gonna be some brighter days. I know there's gonna be some brighter days. Some brighter days. Some brighter days. Some brighter days. Yeah, there's gonna be. Yeah, there's gonna be. Yeah, there's gonna be. Urban Ventures, you guys do beautiful things. My name is Blessing Offor. Thank you for having me. We're gonna do a meet and greet back there. I just wanna be y'all's friends. This is amazing. It makes a difference. Yeah, there's gonna be. Yeah, there's gonna be. Yeah, there's gonna be some brighter days.
Blessing Offor. Ladies and gentlemen, Blessing Offor. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
This man, the most talented, but the most humble. Blessing, thank you. And thank all of you tonight for being here again, celebrating 30 years, not only of the history of Urban Ventures, but how we're all working together tonight to see the next 30 and beyond. Again, I'm Brandy Powell with KSTP 5 Eyewitness News, and it's been a true honor to be with you tonight. Thank you. Enjoy your evening.